Hello, my name is Sherry Spencer and welcome to my channel. Hello there, I am back on YouTube. For those of you that don't know me, I'm a wildlife illustrator. My name is Sherry Spencer. And I have illustrated in the past on here, on YouTube. I hope to do it on, Facebook and Instagram too, eventually. But for right now, I am trying to start back up my channel and get to some speed drawing. This drawing in particular, I'm drawing of a pangolin. I really didn't know that much about pangolins. I thought there was only one type. I thought they were a type of anteater, but apparently there's a bunch of different types. And so I chose this one that eats termites and is from the savannas of Africa. And I thought he was really cute, and I decided to paint him, to draw and paint him. So the reason why I wanted to come on here and tell you guys a bit about what's been going on in my life. My life has been so interesting these last 3 years, but I haven't really been able to document it on YouTube because it just was too complicated for me to get a camera, and me only having one useful arm. It was really difficult for me to hold the camera and try to talk and have animals in the background and doing things that like knocking over camera stands and wanting to know what the camera was and all that. So I figure I'd come on here and explain to you why I haven't been here. So about 3 years ago, me and my mom went to this place called Laporte Farms, which is a petting zoo here in Sebastian, Florida, right off Roseland Road off of US 1. And I absolutely fell in love with the place. Not only did they have farm animals like horses and cows and pigs and chickens and ducks and lots and lots of goats, but they also had some more exotic animals, especially parrots, because growing up, me and my mom raised parrots. We raised Amazons, 3 of them, and I absolutely loved those birds. And I figured, Sebastian wasn't that far away. It was only like a half an hour from my house. And so I started volunteering there. And I started working with the birds. And they had everything from little bitty budgies and lovebirds and parrotlets up to great big huge macaws. We had 11 macaws. 2 of them were in cages, and the other 9 were in an aviary. The 2 that were in cages were people's pets, and they could talk, and so they were considered one of the porch birds. We had about 20 porch birds, which would talk and interact with people, and they were all different types of birds, from cockatoos, macaws, of course, Amazons, even an eclectus, just all kinds of like medium-sized birds. So, so I started doing that once a week, volunteering there once a week, and as the owner got to know me, she found out that I was an artist. And so I started, painting signs and doing little murals here and there. When it would come to like doing seasonal signs, or they're not signs, but like seasonal wooden cutouts of like Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny or Easter eggs or something like that, I would sit and paint them. And then she thought that was so wonderful that she gave me the space to have a shed, one of those large ones with the door and the porch on the front, and it looked like a miniature house. So I could have my own art gallery there. It was tiny, but it was mine. And so for the next 2 years, I ended up running my own art gallery 4 days a week. It was like Thursday through Sunday. It was so much fun. And also being able to be around, more animals that I could shake a stick at. Basically, I fell in love with the animals. I really, really did. There was one parrot in particular that that I fell in love with. His name was Ziggy. He was a blue and gold macaw, and when I first started working there, he was a mess. He was angry all the time, would, just walk around all fluffed up and like big and bad and tough and attacking his cage and attacking people that would like walk by, and nobody liked him. But for some reason, he took a liking to me, and I actually got them to change the diet of the birds because they were on the wrong sort of diet for macaws. So I got them to change it to more vegetables and a little bit of protein and some fruit. And his attitude changed like just overnight, it seemed. And he really took a liking to me. And so I quote unquote took him under my wing and started training him so he could be a better parrot. Because all the other porch birds, they'd entertain little kids and stuff, and it would be so cute, and they'd talk and say all kinds of different things. But Ziggy was one that would always attack the cage. He was very cage aggressive, and I wanted to make him. I just saw something in him that could make him, be a better parrot and calm down, and that was really my first foray into training animals. So then we ended up getting lemurs, and we got a baby lemur named Curious George, and I helped raise him. I fed him out of a syringe when he was like 2 months old, I think. And he was just the kindest, littlest, cutest little thing. And he grew up there, and I was considered part of his troop because he grew up with me, which was very, very important to him and to me too, because he was just a sweetheart. And then we got horses and cows and stuff would come and go, but one thing that the owner really wanted was a camel. So we got a baby camel, a one-humped dromedary camel. She was so cute. We named her Fergie, and Fergie took a liking to me because I was the only one who would really go in there. And I mean, the other workers would go in and take care of her, of course, but I would go in and try to train her and try to make her so she was more used to being around people, and so she turned out to be a really sweet camel. Later on down the road, I was able to actually like train her, meaning like put a harness on her, get her to stop kicking, which anybody that knows camels knows that they can kick like worse than horses can. Even though they have a padded foot, it's still very bad. It can be very bad. So like I had to train that out of her because she just wants to have fun, and she thinks that everybody else is a camel, and they tend to kick each other. And they tend to have a really thick skin that they can do that. But of course, we end up getting injured, so I had to train that out of her. But yeah, and it was just a wonderful, wonderful place to work. I look forward to going to work every single day, and then I'd get there and I'd go around to all the animals and say good morning to them, which I know I was crazy for doing, but, it was just, it was a wonderful place. And we also got a kangaroo, which I helped train too. And he was a sweetheart. His name was Skippy. And he was the one that, like, my little art gallery, like, overlooked his pen. So he was across the way from me. So whenever I'd get bored, all I'd have to do is look up and see him, and he'd be, like, staring at me from across the street. He was so cute. But, so in this art gallery that I had my studio set up. I didn't exactly have a camera or a camera set up for me to do time-lapse paintings. I wish I did, but I just didn't. So that's why I didn't do, and I tried to, take my camera there and film the animals, because the animals were so hilarious sometimes. But it was so hard to, like, get them to do stuff while they were on camera, because most of the time you set up the camera in somebody's pen and all of a sudden, they're over there looking at it, trying to knock it over, what is this thing, and it all of a sudden becomes about the camera and not the animal, and, and I'm trying to save the camera and and all that, and yeah, so I didn't do that. I wanted to make like characters out of each animal, because they were such characters, but I just couldn't, because of my limitations. But so on this channel now, I want to share with you, like, some of the stories that I have of being on this farm and being a zookeeper, and just some of the hilariousness that would go on there with the animals. It was really funny. But so towards the beginning of this year, in February, I stopped going to LaPorte Farms, and the reason being was because the owner had passed away, and she really wanted to sell the property, and she was selling it to a housing developer. And now I hear that now it's the middle of April, getting close to June, and I hear it's still open down there for now. It might only be open for the next month or so, but I got out around February, the end of February, and the owner passed away like that next week. She had told me, all of this prior, about selling the place and stuff prior to, so I made up my mind to get out of there before anything happened with the land and all the property that was there, all the cages and the house and all the buildings and stuff that were there, because my stuff really wasn't protected. My artwork really wasn't protected there, because we didn't have like a written agreement. We had a verbal agreement that I'd pay so much in rent, or not rent, it was quote unquote a donation every month, because she had to pay so much for the shed every month, so I covered that cost for her, so she didn't have to worry about it. And in turn, I got to sell my artwork, which was awesome, and so it was very, very sad when I had to leave, and I'm still like very upset about it. I had nightmares for weeks after, I didn't want to say goodbye to all the animals, but I had to move on, and I knew that the animals were all going to get good homes. Most of the animals went with the workers, the other zookeepers that were there. You know, and Ziggy, he got a really good home. He's got an aviary now, where he can fly free. He's got a mate. This other bird that we had named Star. Her original owner came and got the two birds and put them together, which I'm really, really glad about, because we used to put their cages next to each other during the day, and Ziggy used to flirt with Star all day long. It was so funny. So yeah, them two ended up together, which I'm really glad, and I can't help but think that I had a little something to do with that, because I made him more tame. You know, and I really think that that made a difference, you know, for him, because otherwise I don't think that he would have gotten a home. But yeah, most of the other birds, they've already found homes. Some of the other bigger horses found homes already. So, you know, things are starting to happen down there, and right now it's in the middle of, you know, getting sold off. So right now I'm kind of looking for another volunteer job, but I don't want my life to be swallowed up like it was with LaPorte Farms. I am really happy being in my home studio once again and filming, and, you know, being able to produce content for YouTube again, because that was really fun when I did it before. So anyways, I am back on YouTube. I should be back next week. I do have some place to go the week after, but I should be able to produce content for 2 weeks, hopefully. Okay, so and I will keep you guys updated on what's going on in my life, because I do plan on getting another volunteer job working at a zoo somewhere. I do live in Florida, so there are plenty of small zoos and petting farms around. So, all right. So yeah, this is the pangolin that I was painting, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.